Welcome, dear Thriver, to Thriver TV. Today we're going to have a conversation about why you keep dating the wrong people. But before we do, I just want to share something really special with you. I'm at Doris Lake in New South, and we have some little furry, beautiful friends who are listening to me creating this video. It's so gorgeous. They're pretty tame. Back to me. Before I get into this topic today, I want to remind you, if you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe, and also share this video with people who you know it could help, because this is a passionate movement for people to know that they can heal for real from narcissistic abuse and thrive, not just merely survive. Okay, so why? Have a look at this scenery behind me. There's the lake. It's really beautiful, and I'm going to start walking along this gorgeous path and have this chat to you. Why do we date the wrong people? Well, it's all to do with patterns, and the common denominator in the pattern is ourselves. So what's really empowering is to get out of the habit of saying, well, all men only want one thing, or all men cheat, or all women just use me for my money, or all women are critical, or whatever the pattern is that you've been reliving. And I want to share with you my story because I hope it's powerful for you. My pattern was people who enmeshed with me, who were jealous, possessive, controlling, and would breathe down my neck and micromanage me and never trust me. And that was my experience. And now, in the love relationship I have now, it's nothing like that. I'm completely given space and freedom, and he's supportive, and he trusts me, and he wants to see me shine, and he has no fear or pain of sharing me with the world, with the work that I do, which is amazing. Now, I would have never been able to have this man in my life unless I had really changed me. So understanding our pattern is everything, because we don't realize that we're actually co-creating it, that we're actually involved in the generation of our pattern. So, bit of a wrong turn, I'll go back. So for myself, I used to not be interested in lukewarm people. I wasn't interested in people that would give me space. I was interested in men that would come in very hard and heavy and very who really wanted me, really wanted me. That was what I was attracted to. And I used to believe that if I got 8 text messages a day, that it meant he was interested and he cared, and he was devoted to me. Yet I really disliked the control and having men breathe down my neck and not trust me and think I was playing up all the time, and all of the craziness that goes with possessiveness and control. I hated it. But yet I was attracted to men who were showing a lot of attention. And in fact, a lot of unhealthy attention, which I thought was attention. Now, this had been a pattern that I'd had in childhood with a father who was very involved in my life and wanted to feather my nest and control everything and take care of everything. So, my pattern was the people I love take over my life. That was my pattern. But how I was colluding with the pattern was I was choosing men who were very determined to get my attention, very involved in my life, and were very present, even in unhealthy ways. Now, when I realized this, when I started doing the Thriver work and I wanted to heal from narcissistic abuse and wanted to have a healthy person in my life, I realized that I needed to change my attraction point. I needed to, first of all, clear all of the traumas of being suffocated and enmeshed and controlled, because I hated it. Because what we don't realize is if we've got strong charges on the people I love enmesh with me and control me, the people I love desert me, abandon me, annihilate me, invalidate me, when we're still carrying the hurt from that, We think we're saying no to the people in the future that represent those patterns, but we're actually saying yes to them because it's such a powerful, huge emotional charge of the people I love equals. And what happens with a narcissist is they come into our life, they find out what hurt us, what we didn't like, they pretend to be the exact opposite. We think, oh, I've hit pay dirt. And then when the mask falls, we find out we're in the exact same pattern in even deeper and darker ways. And until we heal ourselves of that pattern, we stay enmeshed with these people. We believe that we love them, we're trauma bonded, we can't live without them, and we don't let go of them and heal. But we have to. So after the last narcissist, I let go and I healed, and I came within and I let go of all of that trauma of the accusations and the lies and the projections and the enmeshments and all the things that had hurt. And I realized I needed to do deep inner work to start being able to date people who weren't that pattern. So what happened is when I started dating people, as soon as they started with the 3 or 4 texts, or I didn't answer within 3 hours, and then they would send me 3 or 4 texts, or they would be clingy or a little accusatory, or, or not allowing me space and not holding their own energy, I'd call it out. I'd take a stand and I'd be like, well, this isn't what I'm after. And I was able to weed these people out very, very quickly. But what I discovered was a double bind, and we all have double binds. And my double bind was, if people come into my life and they offer up space, maybe they're going to abandon me. Maybe they're not into me enough. Maybe they're going to leave me. Maybe they're going to run off with another woman. These were real terrors that I had. Such a terror of being replaced. I need to be his complete and utter focus, otherwise he might leave me and replace me. I had so many double binds. I hated being enmeshed with, but I wanted it. Hence why I was co-colluding with it. Now I want you to think about this. Let's say that your pattern has been, I keep getting with people where I'm invisible, where I'm irrelevant. Everything else is more important than me. And probably you had a parent who treated you like that. You were an afterthought. They were always more involved with other people than you, and they just were too involved with their own life, their own traumas, their own challenges, that they just didn't have time for you. So what happens is either you chase people, or if they show you a little bit of attention, you fall for it hook, line and sinker, and you get involved with them. And then you find out that you're back into the same pattern, that they're not showing up. The actions don't match the words. You're a second, third, fourth, fifth priority. And again, it's you're dating somebody who's unavailable. So how does this get set up? Well, first of all, if you're really, really honest with yourself, you have a double bind. There's a part within you that is terrified of true, real connection, of true, real intimacy, which is common. And intimacy is intimacy. So it could be a real fear of, if I truly connect with somebody, are they going to see the real me? Or if I truly connect with somebody, are they going to hurt me? Are they going to annihilate me? Maybe I'm having these lukewarm or really cold, distant relationships because I'm terrified of commitment. And that's why I keep repeating this pattern over and over again, yet I hate it, and it's painful when somebody's not committed to me. I'm not important, I'm not seen, I'm not heard. So there's always deeper stuff going on here. The pattern of where you may be online dating and it's like every man that shows up is sexualizing you. This is a really interesting one, and it's a touchy subject. And I worked as a dating coach, when I was unraveling my stuff and helping people unravel their stuff with NARP and other programs. And what I discovered is when I really worked out, how to show up dating powerfully and knocking over your patterns and not repeating them, that a lot of women that were having the continual experience of men that were sexualizing and objectifying them, their beliefs were, I have to sexually entice a man for him to be interested in me. Maybe their mum said, well, men are only interested in one thing, and this is how you have to appeal to them to win them. And let's face it, so much of our human programming and our society and gender programming has been about sexualization. And it can be deep in our belief systems and our programs. And often in the email contact when I was helping women work through it, it was so subtle, but I was able to show them how to change their language and how to stand in a place of valuing their soul and them seeing if a man was good enough for them rather than her trying to win over him and to get him to stand up, to value and respect her and want to work for her, which meant that he would start to see the beauty of her soul and her nature rather than sexualize her. And then the whole pattern just fell off in their life. When you're changing your patterns, one of the really big aspects about changing your patterns is that we have to get to a point where you welcome the pattern arriving because it's your pattern. But your graduation is going to be, you're going to be different this time. Rather than getting upset and angry about it, rather than participating in it, hoping this time it'll be different, you recognize it, you say no to it, you clear whatever it triggers within you, and you move on and you say, thank you, life, for bringing to me my program, my pattern, and giving me the opportunity to ascend, to show up differently, to have healed within me what is my despair or my anger or my pain about this, or those beliefs that I'm unworthy, I'm unlovable, I'm not good enough. Let it go. Bring in source, which is what NARP does so powerfully. And then wait and see how, when you've closed doors and you made that choice, the universe opens a whole set of new ones which are aligned with the trajectory of the pattern that you really want. And that's exactly what happened in my life when I started being very clear about identifying, needy, controlling men, insecure men. And I could very easily just say, thanks, but no thanks. And let go of my triggers and my fears, including how I'd be if I got a man who was centered and in his own energy and secure, because there was a part of that terrified me. When I kept clearing all of those things, that was when I was able to have a man come into my life who totally allows me to be me. We have our own lives, our own energy, our own space, and then we come together and we share power rather than struggling over it. And I've learned to heal myself enough to be secure in that. And back in the day, that wasn't attractive to me at all. Unless a man was really at me, I would think he was lukewarm. But now I can see why I felt like that. Whereas now, I don't need to date, but if I was dating somebody and they sent me 4 text messages in a row or in an hour, that would actually turn me off. We change. When we change, everything changes. I hope that this has made sense to you. Have a look in the show notes, because if you haven't already, I cannot recommend enough that you check out my 16-day free course, because what I do here at MTE in the Thrive Away, this is not just about some processes or procedures to try to feel better, to get better or heal. This is about going deep to the core of this, so that when you transform yourself from the inside out, everything is going to change because you've changed. So this is going to start unraveling it for you, take you on this deeper journey so that you get a true understanding of what's really been going on in your patterns and your programs. And if you're ready to get the work done, to really change your inner being over from who you were being into who you want to be, then I can't recommend NARP enough. It's exactly the quantum freedom healings that delivered me to the other side, and thousands of other people in this community who are now either dating successfully and really loving it in their power, or have landed that beautiful soulmate who is healthy for them. And these are people, even up to their 80s, have now done this as a result of healing with NARP. Regardless of what they lost and how many times their heart had been broken and, you know, everything that they went through, they got there. So check out those links. I hope this has helped. And I hope you've enjoyed this touch of nature while we've had this conversation as much as I'm enjoying living it. All right, everybody. Lots of love. Bye-bye.